So let's use last year and my connection that I had as an example. Every person that we meet, we're obviously at a different point in our life. We're in a different vibration and frequency. So every person that comes in is teaching us something. And we're learning a lesson, or we're clearing karma that we might have because we might have a soul contract with them. Okay, this is very deep spiritual stuff. What I'm going to talk about is going to be very deep. And this is for people who understand this spiritual stuff and yeah, you know, I'm going to talk about astrology. I'm going to talk about soul contracts. I'm going to talk about very deep spiritual things. And I think that people who are going to understand what I'm saying are people that are on the same wavelength as me. So anyway, every person that comes into our life comes at that exact moment that they are meant to come into our life. That is something that I do not, what's the word, negate? Anyway, so last year, I understand, and I knew, like, even when I was talking to this guy and we started sharing our astrology, oh my god, I think you guys could hear the washing machine in the background. Anyway, we shared our astrology with each other. When I saw his birth chart, I was like, oh my god, this guy is karmic. Like we have karma. That's what I mean by karmic. Like, we have karma that we have to probably, there's a very deep lesson here, and it's not gonna last. Like, he's not the person I'm meant to be with. So I kind of already knew. I didn't tell him that. And there was a lot of things that I didn't like about him, and I didn't actually openly express that. Gosh, let me wait for this freaking machine to be done. Hold up. And let me add that I think I've been in my princess energy for pretty much all my life. I sometimes go from princess to queen and queen to princess, but mostly princess. And what I mean by that, and I'm giving it a label so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about, but there's no need even to label it. The archetypes that we all have, that all women and men as well have, is that when I'm basically in my princess energy, I'm very much like, very childlike, very flirty, very, I don't want to say pick me because I've never been a pick me kind of girl. But maybe in my love life, I have wanted to prove to guys, to certain guys that I really liked, that I was worthy of being their queen, but I wasn't even in my queen energy, because queens don't really do that. They just are. They are very full and complete and worthy, and then the right man shows up. But that princess in me was kind of, in a way, trying to show that she was worthy to be loved, and that she was worthy to be chosen. And, you know, I can see different aspects of me in different kind of guys that I've dated. So, yeah. And in a sense, when I dated the guy last year, I have been, I guess, in my princess energy. But with that guy, I wasn't trying to. With that guy last year, I think what I was doing was that I was trying to help him. I was trying to help him heal. I was trying to prove, I guess, in a way, that I was powerful, and that I could help him, and I was being too compassionate. He got that part of me that is super kind and loving and compassionate. So, like, he played the victim really well, even though none of us are victims. I think in the previous message, I was saying how I looked at our astrology and I saw right away that there was karma between us, and that this was not a true soulmate. And how I kind of understood this, and it's different for everyone. So you have to understand astrology. You need to understand the zodiacs, the houses, the planets, and yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go into details. But for example, when I looked at my chart and his, I have Saturn in Capricorn, and his South Node is in Capricorn. So that alignment clearly shows you that it's not good. It's a red flag. When you see that in a birth chart, when someone's South Node aligns to your Saturn, which is the planet of karma, it'll show you right there that there is going to be a lot of chaos, and it's going to be a painful lesson right there. So I would never recommend dating someone with that kind of alignment to your chart. It wasn't just that one. His so because he had Capricorn as South Node, that's my rising sign. So there was also that alignment right there. And that means that Cancer was his North Node, which is actually my 7th house, which is my descendant. And it went deeper than that. He's a Virgo sun, which is my South Node. So right there, it showed me that there was some sort of past life kind of karma there. So the sun is represented by the father, right? So there is some sort of masculine kind of, how do I explain it? Lesson. There was a lesson connected to the father right there, maybe like a father wound or something. So again, Virgo is my South Node, and his sun was in Virgo. But that was not just it. He also was a rising Virgo. That means that he also had Pisces in his 7th house, which is my North Node. So there was all of these things that were in alignment that were kind of showing me that there was a deep, deep, deep fucking lesson that I was about to fucking learn. So I was like, whoa, I don't know if I should be dating this guy. But that was not the only, red flag for me. There was actually quite a few that I wasn't paying attention to. So again, I was pretty aware. Last year, I was not, I don't want to say that I wasn't in my full power. I was, but at the same time, I wasn't, because I was so drained emotionally. I was stressed. I had no energy. I was upset with all the drama that was happening in my family. And when you're at a very low point and you're not happy with your life and you're not happy with what's going on around you, you make mistakes in dating. You shouldn't be dating when you're not feeling good. I don't recommend it. After that lesson, I don't recommend it, because you then choose distractions. You choose people who, because you're bored. And because I was bored, I was choosing to distract my pain and my anxiety that I was having by allowing someone who wasn't good for me in. So, and he was very manipulative. He was very good at fooling me into believing that he was like this perfect guy for me. And that's what people with narcissistic qualities do. So at the beginning, he was wooing me, calling, texting. We actually didn't start calling each other right away, but because he was very consistent with like sending me messages, asking me questions about me, he was so interested, and I was like, oh, it was very flattering. And because he was so consistent, he was trying to actually get to know me on a deeper level. And of course, Scorpios, we love people who want to get to know us on a deep level, So I was very impressed, and I was like, oh, okay, this guy's interesting. And plus, he was connected to a friend and a person that I also really respect. And And I was like, oh, okay, I could trust this guy. So then we started calling each other, and he started calling me and actually having true, real conversations with me. So what he was doing was he was trying to dissect me in every way possible to get to know who I was as a person, so that he could be that. So that he could be that type of person, so that I would like him and I would want to date him and I would want to be with him. And he was doing all these things to like woo me, impress me, like buy me really expensive gifts. And also he was going to travel to come and see me and spend time with me. So he was doing all these things that I thought, well, okay, actions. Because I always say, don't just speak words, but actually put actions into your words. So because he was doing that, I was very impressed. But there was a lot of red flags. And I was ignoring all of those red flags because of he was doing all these other green flags. He was doing all these other good things that I was like ignoring my needs and my true desires. For example, he only speaks English. I don't date guys who only speak English. I date guys who speak other languages. I have always dated, granted he was of European descent, but I've always dated foreign men because I want to have children who are multilingual. That is a true desire of mine. So I was already kind of settling there. This was something that is very important to me, and I was ignoring it, because I saw all these other good qualities in him. So I was ignoring what I really wanted. And he had a lot of tattoos. I don't like that. I just don't. I respect people who think it's an art, but for me, I cannot be with someone who's completely covered in tattoos. So that was another thing about me that I was ignoring. I was ignoring that I only really truly like to be with a man who is clean, okay, you can have one or two, but when you are completely covered, your legs, your arms, your stomach, your back, like, no. And these tattoos were not even artistic in my eyes. They were diabolical. So there was another freaking red flag that I ignored, is that when he was about to meet me in person and we were about to meet, he disclosed information that he had hid from me. And that was also manipulation, because if I had known this thing about him before we agreed to meet, I would not have met with him. I would have said, well, you are not for me. Okay? And it was a very, it was a hard no on this. It was a very hard no. And on top of that, I ignored my intuition. I ignored that my body was in anxiety, it was flaring up. Something inside of me was flaring up. And it's funny because a couple weeks ago, he called me. And obviously, I've healed from this. I learned from this. I analyzed why he came into my life. So I'm good. I could talk about the experience and I'm good, right? Like it doesn't bother me. Like I forgave him. But I noticed that my body started to feel the same anxiety that I felt before meeting him. I started to feel it again when I saw that he was calling me. Mind you, I had deleted his number, but for some reason my phone recognized that the number was from this person, and it kind of showed me on the screen, oh, this number is from blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the fuck? So when I saw that he was calling me, I was like, why is he calling me? And I started to feel that really strange anxiety in my stomach. And I'm like, this guy is just bad news. Like, this is horrible. Like, this is horrible for me. But I answered and I spoke to him only because I knew in a sense that there was some karma that needed to be cleared, and that maybe there was a conversation we needed to have to just end it completely. He needed to know that he was no longer welcome in my life, and that I was not interested, and that I understood that it was just a fucking lesson, because he clearly wasn't letting me go. Like, I was even seeing him in my dreams, and in my dreams I was completely telling him to go fuck off. That I was even like I was blocking the doors, I was locking him out, It was like I was trying to protect myself, and he just kept coming and coming and coming. Like he was just not letting me go. Like energetically, people do this to you. You have to understand. Witchy women are gonna understand what I'm talking about, and you have to cut the fucking cord, and you have to clear that shit out. Whatever it is you need to do, forgiveness, like cutting the cord, doing a fucking burning ceremony, write it on a piece of paper and burn it. I don't know, whatever you gotta do. But sometimes there is a cord, especially with people that we've been intimately connected to. This is why I always say to be very discerning about who you sleep with. That was a huge mistake for me, and even though there's no mistakes, but if I could redo it all over again, I would have been like, no, don't touch me. Don't even come anywhere near me. Now, when I look back, I cringe because I would not even be sexually attracted to this man. Okay? So clearly there was something inside of me back then that, allowed him into my life, and that for some reason attracted me in some sort of weird way. And again, that goes back to that healer, that the woman who's a healer, this witchy woman who attracts these vampires or these narcissistic men. And there's this turn on, we get like turned on by like wanting to heal them. Like they prey on us and say, oh, I'm broken. I had abusive ex-girlfriend who was a narcissist. Oh, blah, blah, blah. This horrible thing happened to me. And then you're just like, oh my God, I can heal him. I can prove that I am this, healer, and that I'm this powerful woman that is meant to save him. What the fuck? Like, what is that? No more. No more, witchy women. Do not do this. I learned a very difficult, hard lesson that I was meant to learn. I was meant to learn this. So this is why now I'm talking about it. I'm going to teach about it, and I'm going to share what I need to share, and people who are meant to listen and to understand this information will understand. So yeah, anyways.